Okay students, so on the previous class we started with the feedback in communication, okay, and we just completed half the chapter up to over, I think over here, just before the characteristics of feedback of communication, okay. So over here I think we completed the chapter. So we will be starting from characteristics of feedback of communication, okay. So the characteristic of feedback of communication, that is why we actually use the feedback in communication. Why is it useful? Okay, we use that for particular reasons. Those reasons are listed over here, okay. So it's written, role of feedback is to make the communication effective and successful. Suppose I am teaching you, are you understanding or not? You should tell it to me, okay. Or how will I know are you understanding the subject or not? Okay, so you should give me a feedback that yes sir, I am understanding, then I can proceed with this subject further, okay? Or else I can't, because I won't even know that whether you have understood this one or not, okay. So that is, now the intention. First comes the intention. The intention of a feedback should ensure that communication becomes successful if the message is not received correctly, okay. Now if I just tell you, suppose I send a PDF to you, okay, but you actually didn't get the PDF was missing, so you have not got the PDF. Now if you don't tell me that sir, I have not got the PDF, so how will I know that you haven't got? I will think that yes, you have got. Now in exam, when questions will come from that PDF, you will not be able to answer that, okay. So this is called a communication gap or a feedback gap, because you haven't gave me a particular feedback against the PDF. So that's why I didn't knew that whether you have received the PDF or not. So that is the intention of a feedback in communication, to just at least let us know that whether you have received something or not, okay. Like suppose in SMS delivery apps, in SMS app, when you type an SMS and send it to anyone, so it shows delivered or received like that, okay. Again in WhatsApp also, suppose you send someone some message, it will show you single tick. The single tick means it has been sent from your mobile, okay. So if someone is single tick, then it has been sent from your mobile, but his or her phone is now currently not attached to the internet, so it has not got into his or her phone. Now if it is double tick, that means it has been received by him or her, but it has not been read, the message has not been read. Now if it is double tick blue, then it is actually what it means. It means that it has been delivered as well as read, okay. Now if this system wasn't there, would you people be able to know if someone has seen your message or someone has received your message or not? You won't be able to know. This is just like a feedback system, okay, that is provided to you by WhatsApp, or not even WhatsApp, many other service providers, Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, anyone. So that's why it is so important. Specific. The feedback should not be vague and should be conveyed with clarity. Feedback should not be vague, that means it should not be just an incomplete feedback, okay. It should be given with complete clarity about what topic you are giving a feedback, okay. All things inside the feedback must be clear. Fair and non-judgmental, okay. That means useful feedback does not pass judgment on the message. It merely expresses if the message is received in right form or not. That means suppose I have made a very bad video, okay. I have made a very bad video. Now what you will do, you will judge me. That means sir, the video is not very much good, the video is not very much clear, the topic is not very much clear. That is feedback, obviously, but the main important thing inside the feedback is, have you received the video or not? That is the most important thing in the feedback. Then you can judge, yes, it is correct, the topics are correct, I have understand that you people have understood the topic, okay, clearly. So that is the latter part of feedback. But the most important part of feedback is the successfulness of the message. That means whether it has been successfully delivered to you or not. That is the most important part, okay. So it should be fair and non-judgmental. Timeliness, okay. Effective feedback is the one that intimated the sender about the message in time. Example, in-person communication, prompt comment and reply will be useful. Similarly, in written communication, the feedback is not delayed. Delay kills the effectiveness of feedback and in turn destroys the effectiveness of communication. That means delay. That means suppose if I send you a message, okay. Now if you haven't told, if you have not told me tonight that whether you have received the message or not. You told me after 1 year. Will it be any more effective? Suppose I send you a PDF today, right now. If I send you a PDF, okay? If I send you a PDF just right now over here, okay? Now, if you haven't got the PDF, if you didn't get the PDF, if the PDF goes missing, and you don't inform me, and you people inform me after 1 year from today, then will that communication be effective? Will that communication be effective after 1 year? That means when after 1 year you have passed this class, so will this PDF be any more useful for you? No, obviously it's not very much useful for you, because you have already passed the class. Why will it be useful after 1 year? Understood? So delay shouldn't be there inside feedback. So feedback must have a characteristic of timeliness. That means it should be perfect in time. Usefulness. Effective feedback is the one that aims to improve the overall communication. Yes, obviously. Suppose in Google Meet, suppose anyone, when you just sign in through Google Meet and join any meeting, at the end when you cut the call inside Google Meet, there is a small feedback form. Just how was the meeting, how was the audio, how was the video. So if you give poor, then the Google workers, the workers inside the Google, okay, they will try to evaluate your feedback, and they will try to ask some more questions through, suppose, a mail. Suppose they mail you something, and they want to know from you what actually you faced, what problem, what bugs you faced, okay. So these are usefulness of feedback. Now I don't know whether you know this thing or not, but I should tell you, there are some beta testers of, what should I say, is any kind of operating system like Windows. See, I am a beta tester of Windows. That's why I got Windows 11. This is a Windows 11 version. Okay, so I will show you for your clarity. So if I open my settings, now if I go to about over here, this is currently a very early beta version of Windows 11. See, over here it's written Windows 11 Pro. Okay, Windows 11 Pro, and it is actually what should I say, is a beta version of Windows. That is a Windows Insider. In Windows, the beta version is not, beta is not quoted. It's actually the Windows Insider. It's called the Windows Insider. The Windows call it in a different way. It's the Windows Insider. It's the Windows Insider. Okay, so this thing is kind of a beta version of Windows. Okay, that means a very early version. Just they have made this version, okay, and they launched it, suppose a week later, and that version I received as an installation update. So I installed it, and it just becomes an update. Okay, so these are called beta versions. So why do people enroll in beta testing? Why they give beta? Beta means just a very early version which contains many bugs. Suppose I have faced 2-3 bugs inside my Windows. Okay, so why they give bugs? Why they give these versions then to normal people? They give these versions because they want feedback from normal people, whether everything is working correct or not. If not, in which portion is that not working, in which portion the problem is actually. Okay, these things are asked by the beta testers of Windows. Okay, from the beta testers of Windows. Suppose I am facing some bug inside the Windows, so what I will do is, in the feedback form of Windows, I will write that this was the bug faced by me, so they will fix it for me, not for me only, for all the others in the next update. They will verify that bug, they will fix that, for not for me also, but for all of the other Windows users, they will fix that bug. Okay, so that is the usefulness, to improve the overall OS delivery system. OS means operating system delivery system. They make this beta testing a public thing. Okay, so all the users inside the world, lakhs and crores of users inside the world, can beta test them. Okay, these are called testing. Next comes clarity. Okay, the feedback must be clear in its form and should be understandable format. Should be in an understandable format. Okay, now suppose I give you one PDF, but you give a feedback in, suppose, Spanish. In Spanish language you give me a feedback. Now I don't know Spanish, you have gave a feedback in Spanish. Now how do I interpret whether it is what you are trying to say or not? Okay, so it should be clear. That means you should tell the feedback in such a language which I can understand, okay, which the sender can understand. So the receiver will have to give a feedback in that particular language and in that clarity in which the sender will understand the feedback. Okay, that is called clarity in feedback. Okay, next comes types of feedback. See, there are many types of feedback. like formal and informal feedback. Formal, see, you have done letter writing in English. There are formal letters, there are informal letters. Okay, so formal feedback, what is the formal feedback? A formal feedback follows a preset format or structures using which the receiver frames feedback and sends it. Formal feedback conveys many predefined points and has a specific blueprint. Now formal feedback is like a form. Okay, it's like a form. Now in many kinds of places you get a feedback form. So you have to type out the whole form and then you have to submit the feedback. That is called a formal feedback. Okay, that is called a formal feedback. So this feedback is actually, what should I say, is time consuming. See, over here it's written formal feedback takes time to construct. That means first you have to construct the whole body of the feedback. That means what to write, where to write, everything you have to construct. So this type of feedbacks takes time to give. Okay, these are formal feedback. That means these are mainly used for office purposes, or mainly I should say official purposes, application purposes, any kind of. Okay, formal means that means it is not friendly. Formal means it is not friendly, it's official purpose. So those formal feedbacks are for official purpose. Now informal feedbacks, on the other hand, is spontaneously framed and does not stick to a specified structure, such as instant comments by the listener or audience. It does not take time to construct as it is instantly conveyed. Now suppose if I send you a PDF, immediately you call me after receiving the PDF that yes, I received the PDF. This is called the informal feedback. Do you type out a formal letter for me that, sir, good morning sir, dear sir, I have received the feedback, thank you sir, yours sincerely? Do you write that? No, you need not write that, because that takes time. You have to type out that letter, you will have to put that in an envelope, you have to put my address on the letter, then you have to go to post office, you have to put that letter, then that letter will come to my house, then I will open that letter and then read. See, it will almost take a week to do that. It will almost take a week to do that. So this is not required in this case. You can just call me and tell me, yes sir, I have received. I will understand that. This is called informal feedback. See, like that. See, there are examples. Good job, congratulations, sorry. These are all informal feedback. Formal feedback, see, congratulations on scoring A+. See, you have to always be correct in your English language, and you should always sound very professional in your English language. You should use some interesting letters inside the language, interesting words that the reader wants to see, or he will get interested in reading your comment. Okay, so he will evaluate you on how you write the English. Okay, he will judge you on how you write the English. That means you are that much knowledgeable. Yes, it is a normal concept. The one who knows a bit of good English, he or she is a bit more knowledgeable. Okay, so that is a normal thing to understand. Now the next thing is descriptive and non-descriptive feedback. Okay, now these feedbacks I can explain it to you very easily. Descriptive feedback, suppose the example that I gave in Windows. Suppose in Windows what happens is, suppose I face a bug, anywhere I face a fault in the Windows, so what I will do? Shall I write I faced a bug in my Windows 11 and I send it to Microsoft? No, not even like that. What I will do is, I will write each and every word, each and every point in which I faced that bug. Okay, like I faced the bug in start menu. Just to give you an example, just I faced the bug in start menu, I faced the bug in this PC, I faced the bug in any kind of Microsoft browser, I faced the bug in changing the brightness, I faced the bug in changing the signs, changing the sound. Okay, anything like that much descriptive way I will mention it. Okay, by clicking here, then I click there, then I face the bug over there, like that I should explain to the person who are sitting in the Microsoft and who are doing the work, who are developing the operating system, so they can understand, yes, at what particular position actually I face the bug. Okay, this is called a descriptive feedback. That means I am describing that there should be some improvements, this type of feedback. Okay, now what are non-descriptive feedbacks? That doesn't provide any description about not much description about that thing. Okay, the received thing. So a non-descriptive feedback provides some specific information but does not give detailed description. Okay, it does not give detailed description. The feedback conveys meaningful specific response but does not come with descriptive analysis or suggestions. Suppose I am suggesting someone to do something, so that is called a descriptive feedback. Suppose you have written a book, then you have sent the book to me. Now I will read the book and then I will write you a letter that there and there must be some improvements. Okay, so these things are called inside descriptive feedback. Okay, now if I just don't want to write so much description, so much suggestions, so much advices, so I will write a non-descriptive feedback. Okay, just see over here, there is an example. I only like the second paragraph, other needs improvement. Just see, other needs improvement, I just have written this. Okay, but elaborately if I want to write, so I will tell what improvements you should make, what words you should improve. Okay, so these things are called descriptive. If I start on describing those things, then it is a descriptive feedback. If I just keep it short, it is not a descriptive one, non-descriptive feedback. Okay, then comes specific and non-specific feedback. The specific feedback talks about a thing or a point particularly without talking other general overview. That means specific feedback is particularly concentrated at only one topic. That means it specifies only one topic, specific. Okay, topic specific feedbacks. Okay, only one point it talks about. But non-specific feedback is just an overview of the whole thing that he or she has received. The receiver who has received the thing, he or she just gives a feedback on the overview of that thing. Okay, so that is called non-specific feedback, which is not concentrated at a particular general overview. Okay, that is not concentrated at a particular point. It's just a general overview of the feedback. Okay, so this chapter is complete, I think, and I hope you everyone understood this. Okay, thank you everyone.